Imagine standing with me on a vast, silent field in Gwangju, South Korea. The air is just buzzing, that silent intensity. Hundreds of arrows all poised, waiting.
Yeah, that was the scene at the World Archery Championships, September 5th to 12th, 2025. It's exactly where dreams get launched. Sometimes
Mhm.
they soar, other times, well, they fall achingly short.
And that's what we're diving into today. Our mission is to really unpack India's journey at this huge event, specifically in recurve archery, that classic Olympic style.
Right, because you see, while India's compound archers were hitting milestones, bringing home historic golds, the recurve story, it's different. It's got its own unique challenges, but also this incredible spark of promise.
Exactly. We've been soaking up the stories, the scores, digging into the sacrifices from Gwangju. We want to guide you through what really stood out. It's definitely a story of resilience, yeah, but also some tough early exits.
And then there's this one young archer, a prodigy almost, who just lit up the field with this unexpected hope. It really resonated, I think, way beyond just the final scores.
Before we get to her, though, it's probably important to set the scene a bit more. Over 500 top athletes, 75 nations, all gathered in Gwangju.
And that difference you mentioned between recurve and compound bows, it's crucial here. Recurve is sleek, unforgiving. It demands absolutely flawless form, pure skill.
No mechanical help there.
None. Compound bows, though, they use pulleys, cams, gives stability, more power. Archers can hold the draw easier, use sights, releases. It's just a different beast.
So that technical divide really shaped the fortunes we saw.
Absolutely. It explains a lot about why India's compound teams did so well, grabbing those historic golds, while the recurve team, well, they faced another tough competition. It continues that 6-year medal drought in recurve worlds, going back to the men's team's silver in 2019.
Okay, so with that context, let's zoom in on the real spark. The brightest spot, I think, for India's recurve campaign.
Has to be Gatha Khadake.
Right. 15 years old. Think about that. A debutante from Pune, stepping onto the senior world stage for only her second time ever, ranked 176th globally.
And her journey just became this focal point. It's the kind of underdog story you just can't ignore.
Her background is pretty compelling too, isn't it?
Oh, incredibly so. She's from Temurani Taluka near Solapur in Maharashtra. We learned about her mother, Dipali, who was a medical professional.
Was.
Yeah, she put her entire career on pause. Just imagine the commitment, those long road trips, hundreds of kilometers, just to get Gatha to training in Pune.
Wow.
And apparently sometimes right after family losses or dealing with her own health issues, that level of support, that sacrifice, it's extraordinary.
You could almost feel that grit translating to her archery, right? Her recurve bow, relying purely on her strength and form.
It became an extension of that determination, you could say. And it showed early on in Gwangju. The qualification round started September 6th.
How did she do there for a debutante?
Pretty impressively, actually. She shot 72 arrows, scored 666 out of 720. That landed her the 14th seed in the women's individual recurve.
14th seed against veterans.
Yeah.
That's really something.
It absolutely is. No small feat at all. It set her up nicely and honestly hinted at the composure she'd show later.
So the early rounds, how did she handle the pressure?
She started strong. First round, facing Azerbaijan's Fatima Hussenli, Gatha was just steady, really composed, won at 7-1.
Okay, solid start.
Then the second round was even more dominant. A 6-0 shutout against Great Britain's Thea Rogers. She was hitting the 9s and 10s consistently, those high-scoring inner rings. She didn't look intimidated at all.
Impressive consistency for someone so young on that stage.
But then came the real test, the moment where the story, really grabs you. Third round against Germany's Katharina Bauer.
Ah, okay, a big name.
Huge name, world number 8 Olympian. Former World Cup medalist, loads of experience. Everyone pretty much expected Bauer to just roll over the young Indian archer.
So the big question was hanging there.
Yeah.
How does a 15-year-old ranked at the 176th possibly compete, let alone win?
Exactly. What was the strategy? Or was it just sheer grit?
Well, she definitely fought. The match went to 5 incredibly tense sets. Gatha started well, then Bauer pushed back hard. Pressure building.
You could feel it.
But then, the crucial fourth set, Gatha just holds her nerve, ties it 28-28. A perfect 10, 2 9s, clutch shooting.
Wow. Under that pressure.
And then the decider, the fifth set, Gatha does it again. 110, 2 9s for 28 points. Meanwhile, Bauer, maybe feeling the heat from this unexpected challenge, she faltered a bit.
So Gatha took it.
6-4 victory. Sealed her spot in a round of 16. And get this, she was the only Indian recurve archer, man or woman, to get that far.
Incredible. Just incredible. You mentioned social media.
Oh yeah, it lit up. People calling her the future star. It was just pure excitement. A real moment, proving age doesn't matter when you have that talent and nerve.
A defining moment for her, for sure. Showcase that mental strength you rarely see in a debutante. But, well, sport can be cruel.
The dream run hit a wall, didn't it?
An almost insurmountable one. Pre-quarterfinals, September 12th. Her opponent? Lim Si-hyeon.
World number 1, South Korea.
Triple Olympic gold medalist from Paris 2024. The one who shattered the world record last year with that unbelievable 694 out of 720. She's just a phenomenon. Born 2003.
A true archery legend already. Paris was incredible for her individual gold, women's team gold, mixed team gold. Only the second archer ever to sweep all three like that.
And here she was in Gwangju, home crowd behind her. She was basically untouchable.
So the match against Gatha.
It was quick. A 6-0 sweep for Lim felt like a blur. Lim opened with 3 perfect 10s, 30 points right off the bat. Gatha scored 26 in that set.
Tough.
Very tough. Gatha fought, absolutely. But the gap in experience, especially against someone firing on all cylinders like Lim, it was just too wide at that moment.
Still, reaching the round of 16 on debut against that level of competition.
Yeah.
That's huge for India's future prospects, isn't it?
Massive. A huge leap forward for their youth development. A really potent sign, even if the run ended there. But her performance wasn't the whole recurve story, was it? We need to zoom out a bit.
Right. Because Gatha was also part of the women's team, and they had their own drama, September 10th, going for bronze.
That team was Deepika Kumari, Ankita Bakat, and Gatha. And who were they up against for bronze?
Korea's powerhouse trio. And San, Lim Si-hyeon, and Kang Chae-young. Talk about a challenge.
Oof. Yeah. How did that match play out?
Started a bit shaky for India. Maybe some nerves from Gatha. She shot an early 6 and an 8.
Understandable.
But they showed that resilience we talked about, rallied back brilliantly, tied the second set 5-7-57.
Wow, okay.
And they won the third set 5-7-54. Leveled the match at 3-3.
So hopes were high at that point. You could feel the tension.
Absolutely soaring. You could almost hear the collective gasp with every arrow.
Yeah.
But Korea, they just have that depth, that experience. They held firm in the fourth set, won at 5-6-54, took the match 5-3.
Agonizingly close. Those fine margins. A millimeter here or there, that's recurve archery at the top level.
It really is. And speaking of top level, Deepika Kumari's individual campaign, that was tough to watch for many fans.
Yeah, Deepika. 31 now, from Jharkhand. 4-time Olympian, 6 world championships under her belt. India's most decorated recurve archer, no question.
She qualified well, didn't she? Seeded 6th. Sure, she still has that class.
She did. Solid score. But then, the third round, she lost 4-6 to Indonesia's Dayananda Khairunnisa.
How'd that happen? Seemed like an upset.
It was a bit scrappy, went 5 sets. Some uncharacteristic misses from Deepika. For someone known for her clutch shooting, it felt off.
Any idea why?
Well, post-match, there was some talk, maybe challenges adjusting after becoming a mother, the immense pressure, just the grind of staying at that peak level. Her journey from rural roots to the world stage is legendary, pure grit.
Yeah, incredible story.
But Gwangju just showed, even for legends, sometimes it just doesn't click. It really highlights the mental game in recurve.
That mental fortitude point is key. So Gatha shone bright, the women's team fought hard. What about the men's recurve side?
Unfortunately, that side saw more disappointment. Chirag Bhamadavara, India's top-ranked guy, Paris Olympian.
Yeah.
He really struggled in qualification, seated way down at 39th.
Ouch. That's tough.
Yeah. And his first match against Mete Gazoz of Turkey, the Tokyo Olympic champion.
Another giant.
Exactly. Known for his cool head, Chirag just couldn't find his rhythm, crashed out early. The men's team event, other individuals, pretty much the same story, no deep runs.
So it points to maybe a more systemic issue on the men's recurve side, consistency under pressure.
It seems that way. Flashes of brilliance are there, but that consistent performance against the world's best, especially in high-stakes matches, seems to be the hurdle they're still working to clear.
Okay, so if recurve had struggles alongside that one dazzling highlight, let's shift gears, because the compound archery story from Gwangju is completely different, right?
Completely, a stark contrast. While recurve faced challenges, India's compound archers weren't just competing, they were making history.
What did they achieve exactly?
Get this. The men's compound team, Rishabh Yadav, Prathamesh Fuge, Aman Saini, they won India's first ever World Championship gold medal in that category.
Wow. First ever, that's huge.
Monumental. It was a dominant performance throughout. And Rishabh Yadav, he wasn't done. He also grabbed a silver in the mixed team event with Jyothi Sarika Venom.
Jyothi's a big name in compound too, consistently winning medals.
Exactly. So multiple medals, including a historic gold, it really flows the recurve situation into sharp relief.
So why the difference? What is it about compound archery that seems to click so well for India right now?
Well, it's a few things. Compound, while not the main Olympic discipline globally, is super popular, and it seems to play to India's technical strengths. Remember those differences.
Sights, stabilizers, release aids.
Yeah.
More forgiving than recurve.
Precisely. Recurve is raw form, pure physical and mental sync. Compound allows for, let's say, a more engineered approach to accuracy using those aids. And Indian archers have shown exceptional technical skill in mastering that equipment.
So it's a different kind of challenge, one that India seems particularly adept at meeting right now.
Exactly. It highlights this split reality in Indian archery. Compound is thriving, hitting new heights, while recurve is still striving to break through consistently at the very top level.
And that recurve challenge isn't just India's problem, is it? You mentioned Korea earlier.
Right. You have to look at the benchmark. Korea's dominance 27 Olympic golds in recurve isn't accidental. It comes from this deep national system, investing in kids from elementary school, building that pipeline, that culture.
Lim Si-hyeon's world record, 694. That's the standard.
That's the absolute peak. And remember, in recurve, shooting at 70 meters, a tiny 1 millimeter error can mean missing the 10 ring. It is incredibly unforgiving. The margin for error is almost zero.
So matching that level requires more than just talent.
It requires that whole system. Consistent international exposure, specialized mental training for championship pressure, even things like advanced simulators for practicing in different wind conditions. The top nations train for every variable. India's Archery Association has definitely stepped up programs, but Gwangju kind of exposed those remaining gaps.
Yet, despite the recurve medal drought continuing at these Worlds, there's this feeling of optimism, isn't there?
Definitely. Gatha Khadake's run wasn't a one-off flash. It feels like part of something building. She's only 15, already looking at the Asian Championships later this year, big events in 2026.
And that story about her mother's sacrifices, driving 250 kilometers for bow parts after a family tragedy, that kind of passion fuels sport, doesn't it? It builds champions.
It absolutely does. And it's not just Gatha. Look at Deepika. She's 31, yes, but she has so much experience, resilience. There's still time for redemption.
And LA 2028 might offer a new opportunity.
Potentially a big one. Compound mixed teams are being added to the Olympic program. Given India's strength there, that could be a major medal pathway.
That's an interesting development. And the men, like Dhiraj.
They can definitely bounce back. Learn from Gwangju, learn from competing against the gazozes of the world. These experiences are tough, but crucial for growth.
Beyond the medals, though, it's just the sheer drama of archery itself, isn't it? That intense quiet, the focus, the crowd holding its breath.
The gasp at a near miss, the pure release when an arrow hits the 10, it's captivating. So much of it is fought inside the archer's own head.
Yeah, that social media comment you mentioned earlier felt spot on. Gatha may have lost, but she won hearts, and that's the real bullseye.
It captured it perfectly. What Gwangju really showed, I think, is that while India's recurve archers face these familiar hurdles, the fearless performance of a 15-year-old debutante against the world's best gives you this powerful narrative of hope.
It's a great reminder that it's not always just about the medals on the day. It's the journey, the grit, that audacious spirit. That's what builds legends over time.
Exactly. It laid bare the challenge. Bridging that gap between undeniable talent and performing consistently under that intense international pressure. That's the strategic puzzle for Indian archery. How do you nurture that spirit and make it resilient?
So, as the sun set on Gwangju back on September 12, 2025, those arrows of ambition for Indian recurve, they definitely point forward. With talents like Gatha emerging, and hopefully a renewed focus on mastering those fine recurve nuances, well, what new stories are waiting to unfold? How might this quiet thunder become a roar?
That's the question, isn't it? It makes you want to keep watching these athletes follow their journey.
Definitely. Keep an eye on this space, watch them shape their destiny, one arrow, one competition at a time. What do you think happens next for them? That's something for you to ponder.